go around the room. Best and worst of the weekend, then we'll get to more phone calls. Todd, I'll start with you.
Best of the weekend, Gamecocks QB Spencer Rattler, 438 yards, 6 TDs, takes down the number 5, or what used to be the number 5, Vols. Final score 63-38. Wow. Worst of the weekend, Illinois and Baylor. Got to give it to them for not closing the deal against Michigan and TCU. I was rooting for college football playoff chaos and seeing a couple big upsets. At least South Carolina stepped up and took down Tennessee.
It was really close to chaos. We said Illinois first half cover, bloop, bloop. Then we didn't realize it was the entire game cover. And then Baylor, a slight underdog against TCU, and came down to the wire there with the field goal. We could have had some real chaos there.
How much chaos would it have been? Because let's say both Michigan and TCU lose. TCU is out. No offense, but that's how it would have been. Michigan would have been a one-loss team. There'd probably be like 6. And then what if Michigan happened to beat Ohio State next week, and then you'd have even weirder chaos?
You'd still have Georgia.
Yeah.
Depends on what happens with USC, because they had a standalone game against UCLA. They got Notre Dame. They got the Pac-12 title game. LSU is lingering. Tennessee's out. Can Alabama get back in? I always somehow they'll try to get him in there.
It's like Zion in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
they'll find an extra game.
Klay Thompson went off for 41. He had 10 threes. Now they did it against the Rockets, but that's still pretty impressive. Klay is back, or maybe he didn't go anywhere. Seton O'Connor, best and worst.
Yeah, my best of the weekend, Dan. I felt like we kind of got robbed with all the talk of the snowfall and everything in Buffalo, that we got robbed of like an awesome snow game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Notre Dame BC steps up, though. It was a gorgeous day, and then it started flurrying a little bit, and then all of a sudden I turned back to it, and it's a whiteout. It was awesome. It was like full blizzard conditions. It wasn't exactly a competitive game, but the atmosphere was pretty great, especially on senior day. My worst of the weekend, we've talked about this a little bit, but Vikings were so bad that CBS cut away from the game.
Third quarter.
In like the third quarter to go to something more competitive. That is humiliating.
Yeah.
That is absolutely humiliating. Just a good grief.
Because they love that, that late game, and they get big numbers with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like
And then they switch over to the Steelers, who I haven't watched a ton of this year, but their wide receiver Pickens, that dude is a boss.
Yeah. That's fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Fun to see that. And Joe Burrow played really well. And the Bengals are just kind of lingering there. You're not quite sure how good they are, but you get Jamar Chase back for the stretch run. Maybe they have a better chance of going to the Super Bowl than the Rams do. Yeah,
no doubt.
You don't have Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, perhaps another concussion. Yikes. Marv?
All right, my best of the weekend.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, number 1 wide receiver, Tony Pollard. 6 receptions, 109 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Hey, pay him. I don't know if the Cowboys are, but somebody's going to pay him.
Pay that man his money.
Yep. Worst of the weekend, to your point, the Rams falling to 3-7 after losing to Andy Dalton and the Saints. Oh.
If I'm the Saints, I would probably have Andy Dalton as my quarterback next year. I would, because you don't have a first-round draft pick. You gave that to the Eagles. I don't know what he's going to cost you, but, he had, 3 touchdown passes? Because I don't think, Jameis Winston, I don't know.
MVP dark horse coming into the season.
Oh, I know. There were some analysts who had that last year. They had Jameis Winston, dark horse. It's no. It's so dark. There's no light in here at all. I can't see him. By the way, went to see a movie over the weekend. It's called The Menu. It is crazy, and it's in a good way crazy. I mean, not everybody's going to like it, but it is wild, and it's called The Menu. Yeah, Paul.
Can you give us a morsel without spoiling it?
Morsel, very interesting. You use that. The Menu.
Okay.
Bloop, bloop. And so you have a group of people get on a yacht or boat and go over to this island where this renowned chef and his staff create this masterpiece. You have like a 5 or 6 course meal and all well thought out, and it's $1,200 per person, and Ray Fiennes is the chef. And my wife and I were talking about it yesterday, and last night we're just like, what did we see? Because I still not quite sure exactly what I saw, but it was something different. Yes, Eden.
Who's that guy? The Richard Hell? No, it's not Richard Hell. That's somebody else. He the English guy who yells, "You could have killed me!" That chef is Ray Fiennes.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Is Ray Fiennes kind of like that guy?
He has moments, but he's not a Gordon Ramsay yelling at you constantly
Oh, okay.
on Hell's Kitchen. Yes, Paul.
The actor John Leguizamo was in this movie,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I saw an interview with him. He said does he play like a bad guy, like a jerky guy?
Yes.
He said he based his character off Steven Seagal. He did a movie with Steven Seagal, and Seagal was such a bad person. He goes, "That's who I'm going to be in this movie."
Well,
True story. I just read the article.
okay.
That's great.
Finally, Seagal has an impact on a
Yes.
big movie.
John Leguizamo better watch his back because Steven Seagal knows people.
Do that arm crack thing, where he takes your arm, cracks your own arm.
Out for justice.
Yeah. Paulie, best and worst of the week.
I got a couple, Dan. College game day in Bozeman, Montana for Montana State versus Montana. Coach Corso out there, -2 degrees, toughing it out. Good for him to have him back. And the legendary Montanan Nick Faldo was the guest picker. I think he's lived there almost 4 months.
Yeah, he just moved out there from, I think he was in Winter Park, Florida.
Yeah.
And he moved out to Bozeman, Montana. I think he's right on a river, so he can go fly fishing.
There it was. A couple more. Yale football won the Ivy League title. There was a 4-way tie when the day started. Yale beats Harvard. Penn took down at the buzzer Princeton, or they would have shared the Ivy League title. And last up, I'd say it's been a rough year for Georgia Tech football, firings, athletic directors, coaches. But their new coach, it's Brent Key. He took over. Keep an eye on this guy. Georgia Tech took down North Carolina. They were down 17 points. Good day for Georgia Tech football.
But it was so Carolina to do what Carolina did, where you're like, hey, come on. How about, hey, I'm waiting to hear from you're not giving us any respect. I'm like, no, you'll earn it. And you didn't. 17-0, and then they didn't score in the second half. Yeah, Marv.
Can't wait until Tennessee picks up Drake May coming into next season. We're just a quarterback away,
Yeah.
Drake.
I want to know, when does the tampering start? Where schools are going to reach out to somebody and go, you want to come on in and be our starting quarterback here? We'll pay you this.